Hello and welcome to my presentation. I'm going to go over my college journey at Ottawa University. This is for Global Issues in Liberal Arts, which is the last class that I am taking before I graduate. So a little bit of my background, I used to be an analyst, but right now I'm looking for another job. And I have an associate's in information systems. And I really enjoy solving problems, using data, trying to figure out connections you can make with the data. But also, part of my last job is I enjoy just connecting other people to data and um, making sure a database is like ready and set up to have answers ready for people when they need them. I made a lot of reports in the past, so that's why I decided to continue with information systems and to get my bachelor's, to upgrade my associates to a bachelor's. And I chose a liberal arts university because I'm really glad I chose a liberal arts university because it's really good for writing, for me to work on writing, because writing is something you have to do with AI tools a lot. And I think we'll be writing more in the future. And similarly, people will be less technical information will be relevant because AI can handle a lot of technical things. Degrees that are less liberal arts might be less useful in the future. So the practice I got from being at a liberal arts university was really beneficial to me. Communication is art. I have a much greater appreciation for writing and communication. All of the discussions that I got to be a part of at the university, I got to read other people's viewpoints. People got to respond to my viewpoints. That was a very good thing for me to practice because it gave me a lot of critical thinking and messages and just communication as a whole, and even just forming your opinion and sharing your opinion. There were times where I was researching stuff and I had to find an actual reference to help prove what I was saying, and I realized that what I was trying to say was wrong, and that was a good thing for me to learn from it, and then I could go on and find exact information and find the exact correct answer. And even if my opinion was right, when you find an actual reference to something that you're trying to say, you understand it better, and you can explain it better, and you'll do a much better job at persuading people when you have an actual factual real world event that you can associate with your opinion. And so that was something I got to work on a lot as I was doing projects and discussions. One of the coolest things I learned about was water.org, who Matt Damon is. I don't know if he's the owner of it, but he's definitely the spokesperson of it, kind of. But I just thought they had a really cool idea that they were capitalizing on, where instead of donating the money to build a well in places in Africa, they were actually like giving loans to build a well, which actually sounds like it would be less helpful because it's you're making them pay it back, but it ultimately is one community is paying for the next pump to be built in another community, and that's a much more recursive solution. And just when you look at the logistics of building wells in Africa, there's been a lot of wells that were built that didn't need to be built and they weren't properly utilized. And so when you add a selection process to building wells, you don't give a loan to a community that isn't going to pay the loan back. You choose communities that are thriving and likely to pay the loan back, which means you're choosing communities that are likely to use the water being provided. It was just a really cool idea. I really liked unpacking it and looking at how sometimes a simple problem needs a more complicated solution, and this is what it seemed like. And so I was inspired by this. It's they found a solution where they can actually find what areas need help the most, and they can help that first. And so that's something I want to think about, and I want to work towards a project like this someday. I think that'd be a really cool thing. And then some of my next challenges are to have a list of updated resumes for all of the job positions that I think I might be qualified for. A lot of that's going to be database related things. And I'm going to apply to a lot of jobs. I want to get a better job with the degree that I have. Um, hopefully I'll be better at interviews with the writing that I've done and a lot of the critical thinking that I've done in a lot of these business areas. And it'll be important for me to just continue learning and continue practicing the things that I've learned. I think the amount of AI I've used in the past 2 years is going to be really useful to me in my career going forward, because AI is something that anybody can use to save time if you know how to use it correctly. And that'll be an important thing in business, because the more time I can save, the more I can get done and the bigger projects I can take on. That is all I have. Thank you for watching my presentation, and I hope you have a wonderful day.